Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this week I'm customizing a Matchbox MB141 Jaguar XJ6. These were introduced in 1987 and lasted in its original form until 1990. It is based on the second generation XJ, the XJ40, which launched in October 1986. This example was suffering with a badly yellowed window plastic and a slightly squashed roof. The white XJ6 only came in this Super King gift set, alongside a larger example. And this is a real twin round headlamp bestowed XJ40. The XJ6 arrived in the Matchbox range in 1987 in a deep metallic red, numbered MB41 in the US and MB1 everywhere else. It had a tan interior and a chrome-plated plastic grille, remaining unchanged until 1990. This white car also arrived in 1990, exclusive to the Super King gift set alongside the bigger K146 XJ6. The casting was modified in 1991 and received a new model reference number. Now MB231, it came in a police livery with a light bar on the roof. The Tampo design was modified slightly for 1992-93. These were rest of world releases only. From 1994, it had the light bar removed but remained in the 92-93 livery, running with this as MB244 until 1997. It received two modifications for 1998. It now had a grey instead of black base plate fitted, as well as receiving a UK exclusive release. This was painted dark blue with a Union Jack Tampo on each side. While it left the Matchbox line from 1999, the XJ6 did receive a release in 2001 in Germany. It was painted dark metallic green, had a black interior and base plate, and had a yellow strip and leaping Jaguar decal on each side. The tail lights were also painted red. It appeared again in 2005 in the Superfast series. The body was dark metallic green, like the German exclusive, with a tan interior and green tinted windows. This had the headlights, tail lights and side turn signals detailed. The car it is based on, the Jaguar XJ40, replaced the original XJ in 1986. The first generation Series 1 XJ was released in 1968, with an upmarket version badged as a Daimler Sovereign from 1969. It was introduced with a 2.8 or a 4.2 litre straight 6, with the 5.3 litre V12 arriving in 1972. The four-door luxury saloon was facelifted and renamed as the Series 2 in 1973. The engine range was carried over with the addition of a 3.4 litre straight 6. A long wheelbase car had been made an option in 1972 and this carried over to the Series 2. The short wheelbase was discontinued in 1974, making the long wheelbase the standard saloon. A short-run two-door pillarless coupe, simply called the XJ Coupe or XJC, was built on the platform from 1975 to 1978. In 1979, another facelift arrived, which was referred to as the Series 3. The smallest engine was dropped. It was subtly redesigned by Pininfarina. 6-cylinder cars were built up until 1987, when the new generation XJ40 replaced it. 12-cylinder cars were produced through until 1992. The new car was squarer than the outgoing XJ, though base-level XJ6s received twin round headlamps. Higher spec cars had rectangle headlamp units. It was offered with 4 straight 6 engines, a 2.9, 3.2, 3.6 and 4 litres in capacity. The XJ12 was also available with a 6 litre V12. Interiors were trimmed in either walnut or rosewood with cloth or leather upholstery. Here I am painting my 3D printed pepperpot wheels that are very similar to the Jaguar design. The body I'm opting to again use TS9 British Green, which will doubtless suit this car. The base I'll paint black to recreate the plastic sections of the bumper and detail the underside, and the interior I will paint tan. I'll later detail the interior with some walnut style trim. That yellowed window piece will need resolving though, so I again turn to cream peroxide, as I did previously in the recent Dodge Challenger video for the first time. Some UV light will hopefully remove most of that yellowing. As its predecessor had done, the XJ40 continued to ferry British Prime Ministers around. Starting with Margaret Thatcher in a Series 3 XJ, John Major and Tony Blair used XJ40s as their transport. Likewise, later variants of XJ were used by successive PMs. The XJ40 was uprated to the X300 platform in 1994. It had a more curvaceous body style, harking back to a look more similar to the Series 3. Returning were sculpted twin headlamps, and the mechanicals were similar. Jaguar had intended to launch a brand new saloon with a V8 engine. Owners Ford halted development, instead proposing the new engine and front and rear ends were attached to the XJ40 instead. The V8 was not yet ready however, though it did arrive in 1997 on the new X308 platform. This did away with the XJ6 and XJ12 models entirely. Available now were 3 V8s, a 3.2, 4 litre and supercharged 4 litre in the XJR. Again, the styling remained familiar on the X308. In 2003, a totally re-engineered XJ was launched as the third generation. The X350 had a new V8 engine, all aluminium body and greater interior space. It was the first XJ to be completely developed under Ford's ownership. It was facelifted twice, in 2005 and 2007. In 2010, 2 years after Jaguar had been sold to Tata Motors, what was to become the final generation XJ appeared, again totally redesigned. It completely broke from the XJ design mould of all previous iterations. It shares similarities to the slightly earlier Ian Callum designed XF, though it has a full-length sunroof and distinctive cat claw taillights. It received facelifts in 2014 and 2015 before being discontinued in 2019. Jaguar had intended to build an all-electric XJ, but these plans were shelved in early 2021, making the X351 4th generation XJ the last XJ. Back to my XJ40 XJ6 now, and I've just painted the interior tan for a tan leather look, which I'll be detailing shortly. The body itself hasn't required too much detailing so far, while the base I'm drawing on the customary chrome. The headlights, door handles, side turn signals, tail lights and other rear trim have had Molotow applied, and then colour has been added with a Sharpie over the top of those translucent parts. The rear registration plate has already received a coat of yellow Artistro paint, while the front is filled with white. As with the rear, the front plate lettering is also picked out with my 0.7mm pen. All of the casting lines and those headlights, turn signals and tail lights are run over with Citadel Gloss Nuln oil. This adds depth to those light clusters and better defines the panel gaps. Anyway, I'll leave you in peace for a moment while I detail. I thought that this brown Artistro paint teamed with some Citadel would make an excellent walnut effect fascia. It also serves a purpose on the seats as upholstery piping. Steering wheels were still black on this era early XJ40, which is quite a contrast to the rest of the interior. On the bonnet, I noticed it looked quite blotchy following a clear coat. It had thinned a little, so I taped it up to prepare it for another coat or two of British green, followed by clear again. In between coats, I brushed Citadel on to finalise the base piece. Even without Citadel, the brown paint looks slightly walnutty already. But I add some final black and gold touches to the dash and steering wheel before I coat the lot in gloss. Now we've reached the point of reassembly. The first item back in is the UV and peroxide soaked less yellow window piece. The Citadel and chrome coated grille then hooks over the forward rivet post. After that comes my recently customised interior piece. And then finally the base holds it all in place, sealed by a 3mm M2 screw. Back to the beginning, where we had this bleak looking Matchbox Jaguar XJ6 to contend with. You can see now how bent that roof really is, and just how horribly yellow the windscreen was too. The casting to me is very bland, and remained so until it got the police decals with light bar in the early 90s. So I wanted to spice up what is otherwise a decent detailed casting. And here's the jazzed up Jag now. Really, I chose to customise this casting now because I recently acquired these awesome pepperpot wheels. They are so familiar sat on this model. While not perfect, the roof has been realigned slightly, and also better but not perfect is the de-yellowed window piece. It's far clearer than it was though. I particularly like the rear detailing. It's simple, just a dark red light cluster, yellow plate and a bit of chrome trim, but to me it works well. I'm also a big fan of the colour. It works just as well on this casting as it did on last week's custom Mustang. But I'm afraid that's it for this week. Please drop the video a like and make sure you're subscribed for all the latest. Please help support the channel on Patreon or YouTube memberships if you at all can. All help is greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.